Hello everybody, welcome today. I wanted to talk about the depressed child. Children can suffer from depression and people don't seem to notice this. They are obviously prone to it. Sometimes it's genetic, maybe mum, dad or someone, grandpa and grandma, maybe someone in the family has depression and they might have passed that genetic link to that child, or can be environmental. Bullied at school or the parents have divorced and broken up, this can also create depression in children, and I think it's very important that you recognise it and actually take it quite seriously. People tend not to take the seriousness of children when they are depressed. Now, a depressed child will not want to do anything. They're the same as an adult. They'll be angry and crabby and irritable. They'll be sad about things. You won't be able to motivate them. They might argue a bit more, and they'll be sullen, and they'll be complaining all the time. They don't want to do this, they don't want to do that, they don't want to go here, they don't want to eat it, and anything you offer to placate them won't help, and that's coming from the depression. It's very important that you talk to your kids. Often children have a relief of their depression if they can speak about it. They get a release, and not all children want to go to a pediatrician or therapist. And if your child's one of those who doesn't want to go, I just think it's important you begin the process by talking to them about how they feel, what's making them upset or angry or depressed. And I think you'll find that anger is often a sign of it. Also, being tired all the time is another sign of it. So go Google depression, and you can even do it in kids, and see if you can recognise it. Depressed children always seem to look isolated too. When I was teaching, you'd see that child sitting on their own in the corner, not playing with anyone else. They will actually isolate themselves from other children and or situations. Depression is really terrible, and you feel like crap every day, and every day is a bit the same. It's important you get help for your child. There are many things you can use for a child. They have special medications. Your doctor can help you if you want to go that path. Teas and things like that. So go and explore and find out what you're comfortable with and what works for you. Another thing with a depressed child is to get them outside, get them in the sunlight, get them in nature, get them in beautiful places, and see if you can get them to exercise. Because they found that they did a study with people, and they found that the people who took Prozac and then the people who didn't take Prozac but walked every day for like half an hour, they found that the walking helped nearly as much as the Prozac with this group. I'm not saying that's particularly true because we know what the internet's like, but I thought that was really interesting. I think the exercise releases endorphins or something, so it might make you feel better. Therefore, if you're going to go out with them, take them to a park and take them to the beach, walk to the coffee shop or something like that, just get them moving. It's important to get them moving. I'd also play them happy music in the house, and there's oils that you can burn in the house. We'll have as a mister, which is safer with children, those little mister ones. Bergamot, orange, mandarin, lime, lemon. They're really uplifting. And also chamomile can be good. And the one that a lot of people like for relaxing you is lavender. A depressed child is a hard child to live with, but just remember, it's harder for them to live with their depression than it is for you to live with them, in a sense. They are suffering and they could have a predisposition, so you might have to brace yourself for the future. I just sort of feel that when you acknowledge it and when you say to them, I know you're feeling bad, and that actually helps people who are depressed, rather than always telling them you should be doing this and you should be doing this and you need to go out and you need to do this. They don't feel like that. They just don't have it inside them anymore. There can also be depression that comes from kind of a traumatic loss with a child. It could be a parent or grandma or grandpa, another family member. It might be a special friend. It might be even a child who's left their school, who was their best friend, and now they don't see that child. Depression can come from a clinical place, but it can also be a reaction to your environment, what's happened actually in your environment. Please take it seriously. Get your child some kind of support and help. And there's many services out there that can help you to help your child. And don't take it lightly, because as they grow up into teenagers, it can actually get much more severe, which will lead them into addictions to ease the pain. So take it seriously. I remember I had a child in my class, and when I was teaching, and he was only like year 3, which is like, I don't know, 7 or 8. And he told me that he wanted to kill himself, which is pretty serious for a small child. So I took him to the principal, the headmaster, and I said, I'm really concerned about this kid, and I think we should get him some help because he's threatening to kill himself. Obviously, I knew he was depressed. And the headmaster's like, oh no, he's just trying to get some attention. And that was like a really bad reaction to a very serious problem that child was doing, the cry for help. And even if he was trying to get attention, say, then maybe someone should be giving him some attention. That's what I thought. So please take depression seriously and see if you can work with your child and your kid to get better, because it can pass as well. It can be transient. We can go through, they call it the black dog or something, and you have phases of it, and then you come out of it, and then you have phases of it. It's a serious problem in our society now. Many people are depressed, and that's the other thing you might want to consider. If you have a depressed child, are you or the other partner, their mum or dad, are they suffering from depression as well? Because often it does come through on the gene line. It might be something that you might want to address in yourself as well as in your child or in their dad or mum, and have a look at it and not sort of bury your head in the sand. This is a bit of a sad podcast, I suppose, in a way, but this is what kids need. If they're depressed, this is the things they need you to do. They need help. And I don't think you should not take it seriously. I think you should take it really seriously, because by the time somebody expresses how bad they feel, they've usually been feeling like that for a long time, and they feel very isolated and alone. And that's why you've got to get, once that door opens a little bit, you just got to get in there and help that kid and get help for them, or whatever that is going to be, because you don't want it to get worse and worse and worse. And depression can also lead to lots of problems, especially as they get a little bit older. So see if you can get a handle on it now and help them. So I'm sending you lots of love and light, and enjoy your kids. It's great having kids, isn't it? And I'll sign off for today.